Hi friends, Eric here from Around 2 at RC, and today we're going to be talking about the Tactic 2.4 GHz radio controller or transmitter made by Hobbyco. Now this is the TTX404 model, and as you can see I've got two of them on the workbench here. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to set up the trainer function where you link these two together. One is teacher and one is student, and you're going to learn how to do that in less than 5 minutes today, guaranteed. So with no further ado, let's go over to the work table and show you how to do it. Okay, I've got a couple of fly zone planes here on the work table, and we'll be using these as the example planes to set up the trainer function on the TTX404 Tactic radio. Now let's say, for example, you purchased the Skyfly Max. This is your first plane or one of your beginner planes that you're flying with, and you're getting used to it and you're getting more comfortable with it, and now you're up to the level where you feel like you want to step up to another plane that's more aerobatic. Well, here's the switch. And the good thing about both these planes is they come with the TTX404 radio control system. So now you've got two controllers where you can set up the teacher and the student. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to set up the Switch RC airplane where its controller will be the teacher and the Skyfly's controller will be the student. Okay, so we have our Tactic radio sitting here on the work table side by side. Now this is a wireless connection for the trainer function, and according to the manual they have to be within at least 1 meter during the setup and for it to work. Now for this demonstration they're going to be sitting on the table about this far apart, just so you can see how they both work in the video. So here we have the switch transmitter as the teacher. It has to be the teacher because this is the transmitter that is bound to the receiver in the Switch RC airplane. Now the Skyfly will be the student transmitter. And here's one more thing you have to note. Both the transmitters have servo reversing switches on them for the aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder. Now each are set up different for each plane. The Skyfly has its own individual settings, and the Switch has its own individual settings. So what you're going to need to do is take something like a small screwdriver and set the switches up, normal or reversed, just like it's set up in the Switch transmitter. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad day at the flying field. Trust me on this one. They both have to be the same. Okay? Now that you've got that done, let me give you a little note on how to remember how the switches are set up. What I like to do is on the back of my transmitter, I put the name of my plane on the back of the transmitter so I don't forget. You know, these controllers are identical, and I've got the switch settings for all the control surfaces and the throttle on the back, so I never forget. All I have to do is just look on the back and I know where they're at. Okay, here comes the easiest part, what took the longest intro to get to, the actual binding of the transmitters as teacher and student. First thing you're going to do, you want to make sure your throttle is set to 0. You're going to turn on the student transmitter first. Okay, now you're going to take the teacher transmitter, you're going to hold up the trainer switch, and then you're going to turn it on. You're going to see the transmitter flash red 3 times, and then it's going to go solid. That means the connection's been made. You now have the two transmitters bound together as teacher and student. Wasn't that easy? And it only took, what, 20 seconds to do maybe? It took longer for me to explain it than it actually did to do it. Now how do you get them out of the bind mode or out of the teacher-student mode? Simply turn them off. That's it. Alright, one more time. The student transmitter here, the dip switches are set up for the Switch RC airplane. Turn it on. Make sure you're zeroed on both throttles. Grab the trainer switch, engage it, turn it on. Watch for the red blinking light 3 times. When it goes solid, you've made the connection. And that's it. Now to fly together, what you would do is the teacher would get the airplane up in the air, hold the trainer switch up, it's a rocker switch, and then that would give the student control. When he wants to take it back, he just simply lets go of the switch. Let's give it a try on the plane and see how that works. Okay, we've got the two transmitters bound together in the trainer function mode. Remember, that's a wireless mode, no wires there. We've got the switch transmitter set up as the teacher and the Skyfly transmitter set up as the student. So let's test out the teacher transmitter and make sure all the control functions work. Alright, everything seems to be working fine there. Let's see if we've got it set up correctly on the student. No control. I wonder why? Because the teacher has to control. He has to pull the trainer switch forward. It's a rocker switch. It's spring loaded. So he has to pull it forward and hold it so the student can take control. Now let's try it. Okay, now I'm going to release the rocker switch, the trainer switch on the teacher transmitter. And let's try it again. Nope, the student does not have control. It went back to this one. Now it wasn't that easy. It really only took about 30 seconds or less to bind the two transmitters together in the trainer function, but I wanted to make sure you got the full effect so when you do it the first time you'll get it right. Well, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. I'm glad you got to see me again, and I'll see you later on the tube.